Bless you. This is Pastor Alan Payne coming to you live from Mirror Image Church Without Walls. And today we're asking the question, what is the most important thing in your life? Yesterday we talked about don't blame God. It's not his fault. So today we're talking about what is the most important thing in your life? What is the most important thing in your life, and how does that relate to God? Well, we've seen a lot of people in the Bible where, they've put their importance in different places. And today we're going to talk about some examples of those people. And I've summarized some of those people's stories, and we'll talk about them. Not in great detail, but we'll mention them. Hey, great to hear from you. Hey, nice to hear from you too. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, I hope you're feeling great. We're going to mention some of these people. Talk about them. Well, the first person we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how Abraham had to put his son Isaac up for offering. And if you don't know who Abraham is, he had a son by a miracle named Isaac. And he put his son up as a sacrifice, if you know the story, and I think you do from your comments. And so he put God ahead of everything else as a sacrifice. And God is still asking us to do that today, but sometimes, even though we know that, we don't do it. And what do I mean by that? We sometimes will say, okay, I put God first in my life. Yes, I do that. But then when we look at the time that we spend every day, I encourage you to do this. Here's the way of doing it. Take 3 days in your life and write down what you do every day. 3 days, write down everything you do and the time you spend doing it. And then look at the time you spend with God during those 3 days. I would bet that most of your time is not spent with God. Now you're going to go, oh, Pastor Alan, you don't understand. I'm a really busy person. Well, no, I do understand you're a really busy person. But if you're saying you love God more than anything else, how can you say that if you're not spending time with Him? I'm just as guilty as the next person. I understand that we have to do other things, but if we really love God as much as we say we do, we have to understand that if we love somebody, we spend time with them. Today's verse that I want to read you is in Galatians 5. It says, 5:24, those who belong to Christ have crucified the flesh and its passionate desires. So here we're saying that we have to understand. Now, I'm not saying that you have to spend 24 hours a day in prayer and talking just to God, and that you let yourself go and you don't have a job and you don't have any relationships at all and you don't talk to anyone except for God. No, I'm not saying that. But there are things that we do that take up all of our time instead of spending it with God. Like, for instance, a lot of people spend a lot of time watching TV. Now, is TV bad? I'm not going to sit here and preach to you that TV is bad. But if you're spending more time watching the television than you do with God, then that TV is becoming more important to you than God is. If you're spending more time with something, more time like money, that's right, If you're spending more time with something than you are with God, then that thing is becoming more important than God is. So we have to look at that. We have to understand that, hey, if we're putting something before God, if we're spending in that 3 days, when I encourage you, take those 3 days and write down what you're spending your time on. And understand, if you come up with something that you're spending more time with God than you are with God, then you are out of control. Dial it back. Come back to us. You have to understand that God wants you to spend time with Him. He loves you. He cares about you. His whole purpose in creating you was so that He would have you to commune with. He loves you. He loves to hear the sound of your voice. He loves to spend time with you. So we need to focus. Yes, we need to put our focus on God. He wants you to put His focus on God. That's right. Our first priority should be on God, number one. Our second priority should be on our family, number two. Our third priority should be on our church family, number three. First is God. Second is family. Third is our church family, our outreach. That's how it should go. That's how it went. So, what's number four? Number four is wherever you want it to be. That's right, wherever you want it to be. Number four is up to you. God says in His commandments, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. That's the first commandment. Then the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. He doesn't say what comes number four. So number four is up to you. But those first two, He says if you do those two first commandments, you're good to go with all the rest. So I guess number four is up to you. He leaves that one up to you. That's why He gives us free will. So that's what we're talking about today, is knowing what comes first. And if you put those two first, you're going to find that the rest of your life goes smooth as butter. Everything's going to go terrific for you when you understand that God comes first in your life and that there is nothing that will get in your way. Nothing will get in your way when you put God first. I want to say a blessing over you. God bless you and keep you. God let His face shine upon you and give you peace. I thank you all for your comments and interaction today. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you tomorrow at 12. If you need me before then, you can always reach me at maryimagechurchwithoutwalls.org. I have my email, my text message, and my phone number there for prayer and to contact me if you need to. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless you as always. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.